So we discussed about the different types of Git commands. We classified the Git commands into four major categories based on the use. The first category is for creating the repositories. The second group is for making changes to the files. The third one is if you want to do parallel development, this type of commands can be used. And in order to sync or in order to synchronize the two repositories, that is the central and local repositories, we can use these commands. So the first we have to consider is what is a workflow of Git. So you know that normally if this type of version control system is used for your project, the main advantage is that the developers can share their code with other developers who are working on the same project. So all the files related to the project will be stored inside the central repository. So each day whenever a developer starts their work, they will take a copy of all the files from the central repository by fetching that files, which include the changes that may be done by the different developers in last day. So that will be taken by each of the team members whenever their work starts on a particular day. And after fetching the changes from the team, that is from the other team members, each developer can make their own changes and they can save the changes. So this process will be continued. Each time they may review the commits or they can see which all updations have been done on different files. So after that they can commit, they can share their content, that is maybe the file updated by that particular developer can be viewed by other team members. So this is the actual workflow of Git. And when we started Git, we said that the first set of commands that are needed are to create the repositories. In the case of this type of the version control system, distributed version control system, we need two directories. The first, we have to create a central repository, and we all created the central repository in GitHub. For that, first you created an account in GitHub, and after that you created a repository. So that is the task which we done in this part. And in the second part, the second thing we have to do is we need to create a local repository, and two repositories are also called as private and public repository. The local repository is called a private repository, and the central one is called a public repository. The local repository is one in which you can, it is actually in your own local machine. And you can make changes on that particular file, each and every files in your system, and you can commit the changes, that is you can permanently save the changes which have been done by you. In the case of central repository, this is mainly used in order to share the contents or share the files between the developers. So each time whenever a developer make the changes, they can push that changes into the central repository, and later whenever they want, each time they can retrieve or fetch files from the central repository. So they can also access the files which are developed by other developers, and they can do modification and they can save or commit the changes. So everything is possible. So here we are going to study how to create a local repository in Git. If you want to create a local repository, you have to use a command that is called git init. So in order to use the git init, the first step you have to do is you must install the Git for your appropriate operating system. If your operating system is a Windows 1, you download the corresponding Git version from the internet. And after that, first step is you have to create a folder in your appropriate location. Let it be in D drive or C drive. So that will be your working directory in which you are going to set your local repository. So first you create a folder, you rename the folder, and after that you get into the folder. So like this, and suppose I have created a repository in this is my repository, that is this, suppose this is my folder, the git folder, and this is setting as my working directory, and suppose inside that directory I want to create a local repository. Inside that particular folder that you have created, press your right button, right click, git bash here, then you will get a terminal. Inside the terminal you just want to type the git init command. So, and after that press enter. So here I already created the local repository, that is why I am getting a message like this. So when you type the git init command, you will get the message that a directory, empty directory called .git directory all created inside that folder. So here you can see this is the local repository, that is .git folder. So initially if you open the .git folder, you can only see some of the configuration files and some object files. So that is automatically created whenever you are creating a local repository by using the command git init. And after that, the next thing you can do is that you can do certain commands. So this is the first thing we studied, how to create a local repository. So this is the thing you have to do. Suppose if you are using the same thing, that is I already explained you how to create a local repository in your system, and in the same manner another method is also there. If you are using a command prompt, you go to the corresponding directory, that is where you whatever may be the name of the directory, you have to write cd, that is change directory, and follow the path, that is the absolute path starting from the C drive or D drive, wherever. And after that, after going to the directory, then when you type the cd command, so here actually cd does not work, cd and the path, whatever may be this full path you have to write, then this will automatically go to that particular folder. And after that, when you press enter after the cd command, you will get again a $sign or whatever command prompt you will get, and there you just want to type the git init command, that is also possible. But I think the first method that I just explained was easy for you. Create a folder, go into the folder, click the right click, git bash here, then you will get a terminal. Inside the terminal you type the command git init, then a .git folder will be created inside that particular folder. So that will act as the local repository. Initially it does not consist of any of your files. So the next thing is that if you want, you can do the next thing you have to do is that you have to sync the repositories. That is, you already created a local repository, you created a central repository. Now you want to link between them, then only you can fetch files from the local repository and you can push files from your local repository to central repository. That is actually the communication or transferring of files between the local and the central repositories can be done only if they are connected. If you want to connect them, the command which is used to connect is that, in the same manner, take the git bash, that is, you already have the terminal. If you have already opened this terminal, and this is the terminal, that is here we want to type the command which is used to connect or link two repositories, that is the local repository and the server repository or the central repository. For that you use the command git remote. So here we are setting our central repository as a remote machine, remote repository. So you have to add that particular repository to a local machine. So that is what I am going to do. I am going to connect my local repository with the remote machine, that is the central repository, and for that purpose you have to use the command like this, git space remote space add space origin. So here my meaning is that I am setting the remote machine and I am giving that name of the remote machine as origin. Origin is I am giving the name. So if you want you can give another name, but here just I am taking the name origin. Origin means that I am pointing to the origin represents my central repository. So git remote adds origin, and after that you have to give the link. So how you will find out the link? Link means the path. So first you remember this is the command, and after that you just want to specify the link. So now we can see how we can take the link. So first you take the github.com, you enter into your GitHub. So this is my GitHub, and suppose that I want to take this this is a repository inside my GitHub, and suppose I want to take this repository to my system, that is to my local machine. So first I want to connect this repository with my Git machine, my local machine. So I want to get the path of the Git machine. So what we can do is that first of all you take your appropriate repository. So I'm taking this repository and I'm going to connect with this repository. When you click on that repository, you can see a green color button. So you just want to take the down arrow. Here you can see the path. So this is the path of your repository, http github.com. This is my username and this is my repository name. So we just want to click on this path. That means this will automatically copy the URL. So now it is already copied to the clipboard. Now you just want to right click. You want to paste that link. Already you copied in your clipboard. Right click, paste. So the link is pasted. Okay. So now this is the command. This is the enter command. What is the aim of this command? I want to connect my local repository with the remote repository or the central repository whose name is example.git. For that purpose, I am writing the command git remote add origin. Then I am specifying the path of my central repository named example. So you just want to press enter. There is no, everything was okay. You didn't get any errors. So that means that now your repository, your local repository is connected with your remote repository. Okay. So now the connection is okay. The linking between or the syncing between the local and the remote repository is okay. So that task is over. So what you did is you created two repositories. Then now you connected these repositories together. And the next thing is that suppose you want to give your identity to your local machine. So whenever you created a central repository, that is when you created an account in GitHub, there you specified your details like your username, your email address, etc. because that informations are used by the GitHub in order to identify you as a person, about your details, your identity. So in the same manner, whenever you download the Git, first of all you download the Git software. So the Git need to identify you. That means that if you want to set your username and password in your local machine in Git, you can use a command for that. This thing is very important because Git, whenever you are performing Git commit, it uses this information, because suppose that you are making changes to any one of the file and you will do the Git commit, then your changes will be visible to all other developers. So they must understand that who did all these modifications. So in order to identify you as a person, you can give your username and password. For that purpose, Git allows a command. Git has a command which allows you to set your username and password, and this is the command for that. First of all, if you want to set the username, you just want to type git inside the git bash. You just want to type git space config -- global space user dot name. After that, in double quote you write your name. And in the same manner, if you want to set the password, so just want to type these details and press enter. That will automatically set your username as whatever you typed here. And in the same manner, if you want to set the email address, this is the command for that. So I will show you how it is working. Already I have set all these details. So what is the command for that? Git space config. Okay. And after that, the rest of the part is minus, it is not underscore, minus global. So this option is used which indicates that you need not want to give each time the username and password. Whenever you are using this global minus minus global option, only once you want to set all these details. So that is why we are using this option. So what is the next part of the command? Global user.name, then in bracket you can give your name. So I am giving my name. This is my name. Okay. So my username is already set. Now I want to set email address. So in the same manner, instead of here email, then I can write my email, whatever abc.com, abc@gmail. So whatever you use a valid one, don't use any invalid username. Suppose you can use your valid username. So that will set your that will set your password also. So in this manner, if my mail ID is anju@gmail.com, I can write this much of things, anju@mailid.com. Okay, so whenever you are writing your name, write in double quote, and whenever you are writing password, no need to write the double quote. So that's all. So this much, if you are using, as I said, if you are using this global option, its meaning is that we need to specify your information. This information, that is, this is my username, this is my mail ID. This information you need to send to the system, or you need to intimate your system only once. So that is the advantage. The next thing is that how you can set the default branch name. Default branch name means that whenever you create whenever you execute a git init command in your system, automatically a folder .git will be created. So that will act as your main or a root branch. Okay, root branch or root folder. So that will be setting as the local repository. So by default, the name of that is we need to specify, or we need to call that particular branch name, that is your base branch name. We are calling it as, that is the basic version, you are calling it as master by default. If you want to change that name from master to something else, you can use this command. And here I already set this command, that is why you can see that it is main. But sometimes here you can see another example. Here you can see already here also I set this command. So suppose I want to change the name. I want to change the name of this main. Here I renamed this branch name from master to main by using this command. I will show you the command once again. This is the command for changing the name of your branch from master, which was a default, into main. And here next is, if you want to if you need any help while doing any of the git commands, it is also possible. So we can see which command is used to get the help. So there are 3 different methods are there for getting help. This is one method, this is second method, this is third method. But in effect, all the commands will work same. Suppose that if you want to get help about the git command called config, how you will write it? This is the command for that. So whenever you are typing this command in your terminal, you will automatically go to the manual page of config command. So we can see how it is working. So here I took the git bash and I am going to type git space help space which command I want to get the manual of config, and I am typing the enter. So you will be directed to the manual page of the config, git config. So you can see what is the git config, what is the name of, what is the meaning, then which are the different types or different options. That is, you can git config of different options are there, so its details will be specified here. So this is how you will get the help. If you are using any git commands, if you need any help, if you want to read the manual page of any particular command, this is the way to do. So that is about the getting help. Then next one is suppose if you want to see your settings, you want to check your settings, you already did some of the configuration settings, like you change your identity, you change your that is username, password, etc. If you want to change whatever your current settings, that is it is also possible to change the background of this screen. So everything is possible that can be done using the git configuration command. So here I am just going to explain if you want to see your configuration settings. For that purpose, you can use the command git config this --list. So that is list all the configuration details. So that command you can use in git this terminal, git space config space 2-list. Okay, I am typing enter. Sorry, a small git config config space list. So this, if you are using this command, you can see all your details. If you type enter, you can see the details. So these are your configuration. Okay, so that's all about the git configuration. The next thing is, so far what we did is we studied some of the basic commands which are used for setting your identity, for viewing your configuration details, for getting help, etc. So now we already created the repositories, the central repository, the local repository, and if you want to retrieve, if you want to take a clone copy of your central repository to your local machine, there is a command in git is there for that. That is git clone. So whenever you are typing git clone, which is followed by normally its syntax is git clone inside the command prompt or inside the terminal. Actually, you remember that all the commands you have to write in terminal. So inside the terminal, you just want to type the command git space clone space your link of your repository that you want to clone. So here, suppose that here I am going to clone the repository. Here you can see the example here, git clone, and this is the link. So this, its meaning is that inside your local repository, you can see this is the name of the folder that will be created. So if you are executing this command, this repository will be taken from the GitHub, that is from the central repository, and that will be cloned to your local repository with the same name, that is libgit2, the same name. So I will show you how it works. So suppose that this is my git repository, this is my folder where the .git file was stored in my local machine, and I am going to take, here you can see some other things, no need to worry about that. So you can suppose I want to take one of the central repository, let it be this is my GitHub. I am going to clone one repository that is called example. Okay, so example is a repository in my GitHub, in my central repository, and I am going to take a clone copy. So what is the name? You can see that the name of this repository is example in my central repository. That is name of my project or name of my repository is example, which is I am going to take a clone copy in my local machine. So first you type here, you can see a green button. This is the link for the for this entire this repository's link, github.com, etc. example this one example.git. So this is the entire path of my central repository. So you copy, I already copied this one, and I am using git clone. After the git clone, I have to use the path. So I am using the path in double quote. I am going to paste it. So what is it? It is a repository whose name is example in my central repository. And if you are entering this command, if you press enter, you can see that a folder named example will be, or a repository named example will be created in my local machine. So far you cannot see, this is my, this is my Git repository in which I am to create another folder whose name will be same as that of the Git repository, same as that of the example. Okay, I am going to enter, press enter. You can see that cloning into example. So that means you can see another folder called example in my local machine, and in which all the files inside that repositories will be copied. So this is actually you are using, suppose if you are working on an ongoing project, that means your project already started, its files are already there in a central repository. Suppose you are new to the project, if you want to copy all the files of that particular project into your local machine, you just want to type the git clone. So what you have to do is you take the terminal, type git clone, then after that you specify the path of the repository. I already showed how to take it. You go to the GitHub, you go to the corresponding repository, you go to the repository, you can see a green color here. If you click on the down arrow, you can see that this is the path. Copy the path, paste as a part of the git clone command, press enter. Then you can see that cloning into example. That means that now I am going to take my folder. Here you can see a new folder is created, which is a clone copy of your central repository whose name is same as example. Okay, and suppose that I am once again I am going to clone another repository from my central repository. Let it be. So now I have. Okay, I am going to clone this GitHub to my local repository. So I am opening it. So I will copy the link. So it is copied. Now I am going to execute this command git clone, and after that I am going to paste the link of my new repository. And suppose I want to change the name. The name of the central repository contains the name of the folder in the or the repository in my central repository was GitHub, and I am going to change the name into local copy. Okay, I am just local copy or copy GitHub. Local copy GitHub. Okay, so in order to differentiate, so here you can see I am cloning that copy, and in my machine the repository name will not be GitHub, it will be local copy GitHub, because I am using a space and after that I am giving a name of the folder, and inside that folder the clone copy will be copied. So I am taking this one, you can see local copy. Here I change the name. Now its name is different. So if you take the GitHub copy of GitHub, only one file is present there, that is the readme file. So whenever I am taking the clone copy, and whenever I am executing the git clone, and I am taking the copy of that particular GitHub repository, if I open it, I can see that the same file is present inside. That is actual copy or a clone copy of that repository will be copied to your machine. So that is the meaning of cloning. So this was the details about it.